Hello Stampers, here's Kate with Kate's Creations, ready to share with you another Stampin' Up! Christmas card. I will share with you first of all the picture of the card, which is right here. These are the products that I used today. So, piece to use stamp set, and I'm using this image and the phrase here, Silent Night, Holy Night. Then I'm using this set here. It was a bundle last year, Merriest Moments and Merriest Frames hybrid dies. So I'm using various stamps for the leaves and stems and flowers from this one, and then the dies that cut them all out, as well as the the rectangle die that's in here. And then I'm also using the rectangle stitched dies. Another product I'm using today are the foil gold, what do they call them? Gold holly leaves. We're going to be using some of those today, as you can see here. And the Music Merry Melody embossing folder. There's some Wink of Stella in here, and the colors I used are Merry Mallow, Shaded Spruce, Old Olive, Pear Pizzazz, Garden Green, and I used some Stickles Gold Glitter Glue, which is the only thing that's non-Stampin' Up! Product. So let's get started. The base for this card, we'll put this up here for you. The base of this card is Merry Merlot. Yeah, I'm saying that right. It is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4, and folded and burnished. And it will be a side fold card. Then I took a piece of basic white, 4 1/4 by 5.5, or 5 1/4, excuse me, 4 by 5 1/4. Let me say that right. A basic white piece, 4 by 5 1/4. I used the die from the Merry Moments, Merriest Frames dies. This is the die that came in that, and I used it to cut out this window. And when I did it, just so you know, I left enough room around the edge, and you'll see why. I left probably about 3/8 of an inch in the corner, but I wanted it down in this right hand corner, and I'll explain why in a moment. So I cut that piece out. Then I embossed it with the Melody embossing folder so that it has these music notes on it. Okay, then I am going to eventually mount this to the front of the card, and I wanted it raised, so I used the adhesive foam strips. And I used them all the way around because for some reason, these foam strips are just slightly thicker than the standard dimensionals. And so the first card, it doesn't really show too awfully bad, but I can see it. And the first card I used regular dimensionals here, and then I used the strips around the window so it'd be well supported. And it's just a little bit funky because of that. So I'm using these all the way around on the card, these adhesive foam strips, and you can see what I did. I went all the way around the outside edge, and then I also went around the window so it's well supported. Okay, that's going to go on the front of the card with just the standard 1/8 inch border all the way around, and I think we can go ahead and put that on. I haven't, the first card I put the stamped image on first, and then I put this on over it, but I think we're going to give it a try. I think it will work fine by putting this on first. Because, and you'll see it as we come together. Now do stay tuned, because I do have a couple of little tricks to share with you today. I'll get a hold of that yet. And I wouldn't want you to miss out. I try to always come up with unique ways to use our products, so you've got something a little different than the standard use. and kind of makes it a little bit special. Let me get rid of those pieces over there. Okay, and then we will attach this, leaving, like I said, that 1/8 inch border. That looks perfect. Okay, so there's our card front there. Now the art layer, I cut it 2.5 by 4. I'm going to be using the Mary Merlot ink pad. And I'm going to stamp the image with that. It inked up well. And just center it on there. It's longer than you need it, but this piece I cut, but I wanted to be sure and get a good image and get it to fit on there, not have to fight with it. It's going to get, some of it's going to get cut off, but it came out perfect. Okay, so there's that piece. Then I'm going to take that die, the same die that I used on the cutting this out, and I'm going to use it to cut part of this image out. And I wanted to be sure and keep the star more than that, so I'm going to put it on here so that it just barely keeps the star. I'm going to use a piece of washi tape and help it stay stuck. And I'm going to run that through my Big Shot off screen here. I'll dump my extra pieces over here. And we'll run that through real quick here. And then we'll peel that up. We're going to get rid of that. And pick up the washi tape. Now you can see that it left those corners white where it didn't stamp. I'm just going to use the marker, the brush end of the marker, and we'll just finish coloring those in. When it dries, it looks a little different when you're coloring it, but once it dries, it blends in just fine. Just like paint would do. And it's already starting to dry and blend in. You can see that. Okay, that's going to go on this card right in here, and it's going to go on flat down in there like that. And so I showed you, and then I got to get it out of there, so we'll get that. So rather than try to put tape on this and get it in there, I'm going to put some sticky in there, and I think I'm just going to do it with glue dots. So we'll just get some glue dots. Four of them should be plenty. And we will try and get that in there just perfect. And that looks pretty darn good to me. Okay, so there's that part laid down in there, and you can kind of see it's got a little bit of a window there. Okay. I'll keep that up there where you can see it. Knock it around. Now I stamped the poinsettia with Mary Merlot, and then all those different greens that I listed earlier, stamped all of these. And then that sentiment that I used is all one piece. Silent Night, Holy Night. And I needed it because of the way I laid my card out. I didn't have room for it to lay out full length. So I ended up putting it into 2 pieces, and let me show you how I did that. I took my marker and I just colored the Silent Night, and I stamped it on a piece of white cardstock. Then I cleaned it really well and made sure there wasn't any residue left. Then I colored the Holy Night part and stamped it. And when I did, I left enough room between them to be able to run, to be able to put this die on there. Now this is the stitched rectangle die, and obviously it's longer than the pieces that you see here. Oops, get rid of that piece here. See, it's longer. So what I did is I took it, and here's the Holy Night where it's stamped, and I've already punched out the one side, but now I want to shorten it up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line it up in here like that, leaving an even space from one end to the other end. And then I'm going to, once I've got it lined up, I'm going to put some washi tape on there to kind of hold it where I want it. And it's not very hard actually to line it up. You can feel it kind of fit into the grooves. And then I'm going to run this through. And here's a little piece that came off the end. Peel that away, get rid of that washi tape. And here's the other piece, and now I have a piece, and it has the stitching all the way around. See? See if we can get that so you can see it. There you go. You can see the stitching all the way around. So now I have my Silent Night, Holy Night ready to go. This one I didn't line up very well. I might redo that. You might get to see me redo that. Let's open up the marker. And we'll color the Silent Night and the comma. Kind of lay my brush on the side like that, and run it over it. And I'm just going to kind of put it up here. And then we'll run it through. This time I'm going to just set it on here, and I'm going to just leave a little bit of gap on one end. And we'll run it through. It's kind of tricky, but it's a lot of fun, and it gives you some ability to play with the length of your tag that your sentiment is on. So now I'm going to do the same thing I did with the Holy Night piece, and we'll get it lined up until I feel it click into place, and it did. That looks pretty darn good. I'm going to keep it there and put that washi tape on there again to hold it, and then we'll run it through. There's another one of them little pieces. I'm not sure if those could work for some little tiny hellos or something on another card. And there's the Silent Night. Now that looks good because I got it lined up like I should. So we've got the Silent Night and the Holy Night. Okay, so those are for the sentiment for later. On the small part of the poinsettia, that's where I used the gold stickles, and I put a sparkly gold center in the flower. And I liked it. I thought it added just the right amount of bling here. And these two things are going to get attached to one another with a glue dot. And offset. Oh, before I do that, I want to color those with Wink of Stella. I want them to have a little bit of shimmer. So before I do that, let's do that. Get those so that they shine a little bit. There's that one. I did the stickles thing earlier and let it dry. It takes a little while, about a half an hour or so to set up, and I wanted it dry for when we made the video, but it does take a little bit of time. So you got to plan ahead for that. Okay, now I can put this on here and offset it for the flower. Now I'm going to raise the flower up with a dimensional. So I'm going to put one right in the middle. And I am going to just lightly press it. I'm not going to press it down really hard. Now all these different leaves are just going to go on in different places. Some will be raised and some won't. And that is totally up to you. I'm going to just put Stamp and Seal on the back of like this one, and it can go there. And it's not going to look exactly the same. This one, I think I'm going to put a dimensional on. I'm going to put it near the flower end and tuck it in so that it kind of comes down partway over the picture. So it'll give some dimension to that picture. Then let's see. Let's put this one on with a dimensional as well. And let's put this one, lift that up a little bit here. There we go. Like that. And then this one I think I'll put on flat. And we'll have it coming out this way. And I'm going to put this one in here, but I'm going to put it on with a dimensional. And this is totally like personal choice, what you're going to want to do. It just kind of gives a lot of dimension to the thing. I'm going to attach this one flat. That's the same color. I was thinking I might do that in a different color. Let's do that. Oh no, that's okay. We'll just use it. I'm going to put this one on flat right down in here. Let's see, now we got at least one more of these. Let's put it, let's see, I think in right there, and I think I'll put a dimensional on it. Get it tucked in there so it fits on the card. It doesn't want to go in very good. Let's make it a little shorter. Where are my scissors? There they are. Gotta leave room for it to tuck in there. And still stay on the card. There we go. We got it. Okay, I think that's enough. And then I had my 3 little gold pieces, and I just really like these. I want to put them on. And I'm going to do those with the little tiny glue dots. So we'll just put one glue dot on each of them. Like that. And then we'll just tuck them in wherever we want. I think one there. Put one here, and we'll put one over here. And that adds just a little more bling to it. And then the Silent Night, Holy Night, I'm going to put on with dimensionals. And that can just use regular dimensionals. And it's narrow enough that you got to pay pretty close attention to where you place them so that they won't show. That's the Holy Night. And okay, and then we'll put this on like that. Silent Night, Holy Night. Just like that. It's okay if it goes out into the picture a little bit, because when you're looking at the card close up, it just lends to the depth of the card, which is what I want to do. Now I still have my pieces of my little berries and my 2 holly leaves. And I want to sparkle my berries, so we'll get my Wink of Stella, and we will do that. Get them all shiny. And then I debated. This is the medium-sized holly leaf that's in the set. And I could do those, but I actually thought I've been trying to use up my gold holly leaves. And I have 2 of them in the larger size, actually 3 left in the larger size. And I'm thinking I might do it different. This one has the medium holly leaves right here. And I'm thinking of doing that with these instead, like that. I'm going to look at it first, see what I think. And I could just do 2, but since I've got 3 left and I want to use them up, I'm thinking I might do all 3 of them and just do it like that. I kind of like that. I think I'm going to do that and use those up. And I am going to put glue dots on the back of this little berry cluster, and so I can stick the leaves to the berry cluster. We'll just put 3 of them on the back of there. It's good and covered. And then there's enough sticky then to stick the backs of these leaves to. There is pretty much a front and a back to those. Covered up all my glue spots. That was cute. Let's do another one. It needs 1 more. Right there. So that I can stick number 3 in there in the center. There we go. And then I'm going to put, I think just the regular glue dot on there is going to be enough to hold that right where I want it. And there's the finished card today. Isn't that fun? I think it turned out really pretty. I hope you like it. Be sure and let me know what you think. Be sure and subscribe if you haven't. Share my posts and copy my stuff. I love it when people do that. I do appreciate when you share and let other people know what I'm doing out here. And I hope you enjoyed today's card. Thanks for stopping by.